What's good, y'all? How are you doing? For those of you who are regulars at this establishment, welcome back. It's good to see you. Hope you're feeling lovely, beautiful, amazing, gorgeous, handsome, sexy. I hope all of those things apply to you in this moment. And if you're a new person who has just joined me, welcome. It's good to see you. I've seen that I've gotten a couple of more subscribers, and I love that. I always love that. For those of you who are new here, my name is Yasha. I also go by Tater the Penguin, and I do these videos every night so far, where I am vulnerable about what's happening in my life. I'm authentic about what's going on with me, and I talk about like my spiritual journey. Most of the time I talk about special interests like movies, video games, all kinds of stuff, and I essentially just yappity yap. That's what I do. It's one of my favorite things to do. If there was an award for doing so, I'd at least get top 5. At least top 5. I thoroughly enjoy yapping, and I do these videos at the end of my day, every day, usually in between the hours of midnight and like 5 a.m. when the whole house or the whole apartment is asleep. And then that's when I come in to spend time with you guys. See you later, Stinky. So, yeah, that's what's going on. So today was a very, very good day, and I'm excited to yap about it. Actually, not a whole lot happened today, if I'm being honest. And I will tell you why. But, first thing is first. Very excited in this. That feels right. So first thing is first, is I show you all my beautiful crystal mobile that I have. One day, these will be wind chimes. Maybe. I'm excited to get my wind chimes out of storage at some point after this supposed move is going to happen. I say supposed because I've been getting all kinds of nudges and spiritual things that a big move is about to happen for myself and my sister. But financially, I just don't know how that's going to happen. So we trust and we move. Look at it spinning. It's like a whole party. You should be dancing again. And now, get some water in, please. Your body is made up of 70+% water, so it's incredibly good for you to get some water in. So, lots of things happening, but then also feeling like nothing's happening at all. It is, at the time of recording this, January 30th, and I guess at the time of recording this, it wouldn't be. It would be the 31st, maybe? Are there 31 days or 30 in January? I don't remember. But January has felt like the longest month of my life. So I will be real with you on that point. So yesterday, when I did my video last night, I was so tired. I went to bed and I watched some stuff. But then I went to sleep and slept super hard and had the craziest dreams. They were super vivid. They were super out there. I was like, what is happening in the House of Commons? Excuse me. There was just so much going down. So much. But then I woke up this morning and I went to sit up and my spirit was like, shh, 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 shh. Lay back down. 4 minutes and 14 seconds as I say that. And I was like, so what am I doing today? And my spirit said nothing. Today we recoup, we rest, we rejuvenate. So I didn't game today. I did a little bit of journaling this morning, and I actually thought there was a topic I was going to talk about, which I'll probably touch on it a little bit, but I had like a whole thing written out and my team was like, why are you doing all that? I was like, I was just trying to, maintain, because, I was supposed to be doing all this shit. And they were like, no, we didn't tell you that. Who told you that? And I was like, I don't know. I just felt like it was what I was supposed to do. They were like, nah, stop all that. I was like, okay. So I won't be doing all of that. But I rested a majority of the day, which was good because I did some I actually did some energy healing for my dad and for my sister today because my dad, I do energy healing for him twice a week. I do little sessions for him to kind of help him. He's got some health stuff going on right now, and I find it really nice and comforting. He finds it, nice and comforting at the end of his days twice a week to be able to just sit there and I do energy healing and I play or he chooses the spa music and I have my little singing bowl and I have my other stuff that I use. And actually I realized something today. It was really interesting. I realized how attached I am to certain aspects of my spirituality, primarily because I feel like if things don't work out or if things don't happen the way I'm saying that they're going to happen or the way they should happen, 5 minutes and 55 seconds as I say this, so somebody, we're locked in right here. I had a feeling that, or not I had a feeling, but I was really obsessed with the outcome of certain things. And then my sister today asked me, what did she ask me? She asked me to do some energy healing for her, and when I was going to do it, I realized I get tired after doing energy healing, and I was like, is that common? Because usually I just expect it, and then I go and I do the things that I do so that I can feel re-energized. So I went and I looked it up, and I visited a couple of different spiritual, energetic practices where energy healing is a part. There are many different practices where energy healing is used. I think one of the most popular ones is Reiki healing. It's a whole energy thing, and because I don't know a whole lot about it, I would say go look that up, but that's not what I do. I do a different type of energy healing entirely, but energy healing is energy healing. The basis of it is that you're using energy, you're using yours, you're moving the other person's around, all that good stuff. So I looked it up and I realized that I shouldn't be tired afterwards. And I was like, oh, so why am I tired? And they're like, well, the doing of energy healing should not exhaust you. So if you're tired, it means there's something going on in you. And what it said, if I can remember correctly, the articles that I read kind of all had the same idea, which is either you're leaking energy, so you're not kind of dealing with making sure that your energy is balanced and that you're locked in before you go do this energy healing. So either that, or you are over invested in the outcome of the session. Your ego is getting in the way. And so because you want this person to heal, or you want to be a good, practitioner, you're wanting to be the best practitioner, that's getting in the way. And then there was another thing, and I can't remember what the third thing was. But for me, it was ego, and it was being over invested. And I realized that I've just been way too invested in a lot of the things that I've been doing spiritually. And here's what I mean by too invested, because I know some of you are probably like, wait, but aren't you supposed to be emotionally or spiritually involved? Yes, you are. But here's the thing. When you are overly attached to the thing that you want, 8 minutes and 23 seconds as I'm saying this, when you are overly attached to the thing that you want, what ends up happening is you start to create problems for yourself. When you're overly attached, you're overly invested in something, you begin to worry and stress about not having that thing or losing that thing. Think about it. If you order something fun online, like you want a t-shirt or something, and it's not really that big of a deal, somebody gives you a gift card and you go on Amazon or you go to a store and you're like, I'm just going to grab something. If let's say you order something online, you're not freaking out about whether or not it shows up. You just trust that it's going to show up and you're good. Now, if you order something you've been wanting for a very long time and you're locked into this, you're checking that tracking number every day. You're freaking out if it doesn't show up. You're losing your shit when it looks like it might be delivered by a different person or something like that. That was essentially what I was being led into today, which was energy healing best works when both the practitioner, the person doing the healing, and the person receiving it are in a relaxed state where you're just enjoying that moment together. And that is something that I completely was missing. I was very stressed about the outcome. I was like, no, I'm doing this for a reason. It's going to, vulnerability moment. For me, if I failed in the energy healing department, and if the energy healing didn't work, I felt like I'm feeling things. My experience is real for me. But if this doesn't work out, I'm a fucking fraud. if this doesn't work out, I suck. Like, everything that I've been doing, God, down the drain, literally feeling like Buzz Lightyear when he's like, it's all gone, woo, papa, woo, see ya. He's like, what happened? He's like, 1 minute you're defending the whole galaxy, and suddenly you found yourself sucking down Darjeeling with Marie Antoinette and her little sister. Woody's like, I think you've had enough tea today, Buzz. Let's get you home. And he's like, don't you get it? You see the hat? I am Mrs. Nesbit. Like, Buzz losing his shit in that scene is me. That's what I've been going through. And I sat with that today, and I meditated on it, and I consulted with my spiritual counsel. And I realized that I am always better off for myself and other people when I take a step back and I focus more on being in the moment. When I focus more on the journey and less on the obsessiveness of the end result. I don't know who I'm talking to, but this is important. And 11 minutes and 11 seconds as I'm about to say this, I know you and I have been on a journey for a long time. If you're seeing this video, you didn't just get started. You've been doing this shit for probably a couple of years now. And as you've been wanting, and as you've been desiring, and as you've been invested in shit, things that are not happening are breaking your spirit. You're like, I have to see something. And if I don't see something, I'm just going to give up. I'm just going to call it, because this is frustrating as fuck. And I get that. I do not know if this will work for you. I honestly don't, because I believe that everybody processes mentally and deals with things differently. But what I am learning on my path right now is that being in the moment that I'm in, enjoying the moments that I'm in, not just being in them, but really seeing the beauty in them and enjoying them, is what is giving my life meaning. Not sitting around every day, 12 minutes and 12 seconds as I say this, not sitting around every day wishing that everything would change. And if you've been with me for the past however many months that I've been doing these videos, then you get how badly I want my shit. So I'm talking from a place of I just fell upon this understanding of I'm investing too much today. 12 minutes and 34 seconds as I say that. 1, 2, 3, 4 usually means that you're on the right track. You're on the right path. So I went into that energy healing session tonight very differently. As I was doing it, I enjoyed it. I wasn't stressed about the outcome. I was thoroughly enjoying being able to feel and see his energetic person responding to the things that I was doing. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I could see his whole body relax as he was there and as I was doing the work that I was doing. And that to me made me feel really good. And afterwards he told me, he said, you know, this is like my favorite part of the day. And he told me, he said, you know, I've gotten to the point where regardless of what happens with my health from this point forward, I have changed my diet. I am getting good sleep. I'm drinking water, I'm doing everything that I need to do, and then I get to have these amazing sessions with you at the end of the day. And he was like, I am so grateful, and I do not care about the outcome of these. And I was like, Dad, how can you say that? How can you say you don't care about the outcome of this energy healing when you're dealing with kidney issues? Like how can you be so okay with that? My dad he's got kidney disease, and he is going to be getting some dialysis stuff going, and it's not detrimental to your life or anything like that, but getting a kidney transplant surgery is risky. It is. So it's something that my family's been dealing with for a while. My dad's health has always been something that has kind of been in and out of the woods, as they say. Last year, my dad actually ended up in the ICU because his blood pressure spiked to very dangerous levels. And when he got in and the doctor looked at him, he said, I don't know how you're still walking around, because the level that your blood pressure is at, people die. He was having trouble breathing one night, and he told my mom, and he was like, we need to go to the hospital now. And they were like, it's a good thing that you came in, because they hooked him up to machines and they could not get his blood pressure down. For hours, they couldn't get his blood pressure down, and it was looking dicey. Like, they were like, 15 minutes and 15 seconds as I'm saying this, they were like, we don't know how this is going to go. We're going to try our best. My dad is one of my best friends. He's one of my best friends. A lot of the changes that I've made are because of him, and a lot of the changes that he has made are because of me. And at some very specific points in my life that I didn't want to be here, he was one of the people who gave me a reason to stay. And this whole situation has just been up and down and up and down and up and down. So I was like, I don't really even know, like, what to think or to do. We just laugh. We try to laugh all the time. We try to laugh every day. We try to be in good spirits. And then one day he came to me and he was like, hey, I know that you do energy healing on yourself. I was like, yeah, I don't do it on other people, primarily because I know it works for me, but I also know it could be a placebo effect. It could be that it works because I believe it does. And somebody might say, well, I mean, if you believe it works on somebody else, but that's not how it works. That's not how I feel that it works. I don't feel that I am healing people. When I'm doing energy healing work, I believe that I am assisting the other person's body in healing itself. But the reason I don't do this for other people is because that is a giant weight for somebody to be like, hey, I want you to do this, and I'm trusting that you're doing it right, and you're doing it well and all this stuff. And I do as much research as I do, but I'm not certified. I just do it for me. So much of my spirituality I have kept quiet and secret because I don't want to be in a situation where I'm getting a lot of people who are like, prove it. And I'm like, it works for me. That's what I think. So much of what I do is it's for me. I'm not trying to force anybody else to believe it. I'm just doing what works for me. So when he asked me to do it, I was really excited to do it. But then as I was doing it, when session 2 came along, I started to feel that pressure. I was like, what's going to happen if this doesn't work? He put so much trust in me, so much faith in me. He's one of the people who believes in me to a point that is scary. When people don't believe in you and they said that you wasn't gonna be shit, that's hard. That fucking sucks. And you at that point can either believe what they say, or you can say, fuck all of y'all, I'm gonna do this so big that you will have no choice but to eat your words. Have a piece of that humble pie, bitch. But when people believe that you can do things and they believe in you, I don't know who I'm talking to, but there is a concern. There is a worry, what if I fail? You put all that faith in me, and for what? For what? So that's been something that's been weighing on me. And I did not intend to talk about it at all. I did not intend to talk about it. So, yay. That's great. All right. But I did the energy healing with him, and he was like, I feel good at the end of every session. So he was like, if things reverse, if where my kidneys are operating at the percentage that they're at, it's incredibly low, which is why they're doing everything to get him on dialysis and to get him on this wait list for a new kidney. He was like, I don't care. He was like, I really am happy to be able to spend this time with you at the end of the day. And I was like, ugh, my heart. But then after the session, I sat with it. And I realized that really this is what life is about at the end of the day. It's about enjoying the moments that you're in. Hustle culture really has us believing that our job is to wake up every day with goals for our future. And while I think it is good to think about your future, while I think it's good to have plans, I think a lot of us miss what's happening in the right now because of it. We trade it. We say, I'm going to not use this that I have, this moment that I have with the people that I love, in order to stress about my future. And I don't know about other people, but that's something that I've had a habit of doing in the past. So I thought about it and I meditated on it, and that was a really hard thing to hear, a hard lesson to have to deal with. But I know it's true. I know it's true. A lot of the stuff that I've done spiritually has done different things than I thought it was going to do. Like, I assumed that advice, I would be a person who gave advice, or that I would be a person who guided people. So I committed myself to studying things. 21 minutes and 21 seconds, as I say that. I wanted to study so that I could be the best at what I did, so that I could help people from a place of knowledge. That's why for a long time I was researching PhD programs, because I wanted to get my doctorate degree, which is the last level of schooling. I have a master's. I wanted to get my doctorate so that I could help people from a place of not hierarchy, not knowledge, but like a place of like having credentials, you know? And then the fact that my team, my council, they were like, that's not your life path. Your life path is not to do this from a place of being super well learned. You are to follow your gut. You are to follow your heart. That's what you are to follow. I was like, that sounds really great, you know, that's on some let it go, that's really great when, you know, we're talking about musicals, but when it comes to real life, I'm like, you have got to be fucking kidding me. Bro, I tell you what, it's crazy. It's crazy doing any type of spiritual work and being a person who also is like, okay, come on now. But yeah, so that happened today, and I battled with it, and there's a part of me that's still struggling, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, after the energy healing session, I had a really great dinner. We all laughed. I hopped on and watched a stream. It's always Big Puffer. I love being in his chat. It's pretty great. Like, just being in there and joking and, you know, just having a good time. I enjoy it. It's like a little community that I'm in now that I enjoy. So I did that, and then, you know, I did some energy healing for my sister, and she was like, thank you so much. I feel better. And it's crazy because I could probably have 50 people tell me that something that I did helped them, and there will still be a part of me that's like, they're lying to you. They're lying to you because they want you to feel good about yourself. And I guess I have to get to a point where that doesn't matter. Like, I have to get to a point where whether or not people are genuinely helped by me is not something that dictates whether or not I continue to keep doing it. I've got to keep going, regardless. It's interesting because somebody, I can never remember your whole username, but somebody commented and talked about the fact that my videos are helping you work through some things. And one of the things that you said that stuck out to me was when you said, one of the things that you struggle with is that you don't find on the soulmate journey, because we were talking about soulmates in quite a few of my videos. We've talked about it. And somebody was talking about the fact that for their soulmate journey, something that is hard for them is that they're very confident in walking up and talking to people that they find attractive, to men that they find attractive, but they don't find a lot of people attractive. I'm right there with you. It's weird to be a person who finds a lot of people attractive, but then at the same time, I'm not moved to go speak to those people. So it's like I see attractive people, but I'm not really moved. And then you also said, that it was crazy when you realized you were pretty. That is one of the craziest things I've been hearing. Are people, all kinds of ethnicities, all across the gender spectrum, saying that they just discovered that they're attractive. Like, they just realized it. And it's because their whole life they've been thinking they were ugly. I always think about Halle Berry in Catwoman. Atrocious movie. But in the beginning, they really try to make her ugly. Like, they frizz up her hair, they put her in clothes that don't fit her, they put her in clothes that don't match, and they really are like, oh, she's ugly, and she gets hot when she has the haircut, and she's wearing the leather and the high heels, and it's like, no, Halle Berry was fine either way. Y'all weren't gonna convince me she was ugly. Maybe a person who can't really see that well. Maybe you could convince a basic person, but not me. No, she was hot the whole time. And it happens in so many movies. Sandra Bullock in Miss Congeniality, when they try to be like, oh, she's not attractive and she's, doing all this stuff and she burps and everything, and then they put her in like a skin-tight dress and with straight hair and they're like, whoa, she's so hot. She was always hot. She was always hot. It's the same for so many movies. Princess Diaries, Anne Hathaway, she was always cute. She was always cute. The hair and the braces, she was still cute the whole time. People may disagree with me, and I'm like, again, beauty truly is in the eye of the beholder, because I can see it. And maybe that's just because I'm a creative person. So I see beauty in things before the thing was done. So like, I walk into a lot of spaces. I used to love cleaning homes. Like, my neighbors would be like, hey, like, we'll pay you some money to come clean our house. And I used to love it because I could see what it was going to look like clean, even if I'd never seen it clean. I could see it. And so cleaning made it super easy for me, because I was like, okay, so first off, when you do this, like, I could take it all apart. And I feel like when it comes to people, that is something that I experience. But seeing people who are pretty and who've always been attractive be like, I just realized that I'm cute. I love that. I'm so glad for you that you realized, the person who did that comment, I'm so glad that you realized you're cute, because yeah, life is just different when you do. I can't remember, you had said some other stuff and I was like, damn, like, I feel that. Oh, you were talking about the fact that you did not know, and for those of you who are also here, you should hear this too. They were talking about the fact that they didn't really know where to go in life. And so here's the thing. I don't know everybody's pronouns, and I don't always ask because I forget, because this is new for me. I know the asking people's pronouns and things like that has been happening for a long time, but I don't socialize very much. So I say they as on default. Like, once it became a thing, I was like, we're just going to train they, and then people can correct me. I don't mind being corrected and then using the proper pronouns, but I always just say they to be safe. I also do that in order to try to keep people's names, like, in my own life. Like, I try to keep stuff private, so that's also why I do that. I always want to err on the side of respect, if I forget to ask, which I always do. But that's how I kind of err on the side of respect, because I want people to feel included and to feel loved and supported. 28 minutes and 28 seconds as I say that. That's what I want to feel when I want you guys to feel that when you're here. So, but you were saying that you felt kind of lost and you're not really sure what you're supposed to be doing, and you feel like it might be connected to you being authentic. It 100% is. 2025 is the year of authenticity. Like, we are ending cycles where we are pretending to be people we're not. I froze because my brain literally had a buffer moment. It is time for you to step into your beauty. And this was something that I said in another video. It's so important when it comes to soulmates and friends in particular. And you also said that you have not really had a group of close friends. I'm your friend. I am your friend now. I'm your friend now. I'm somebody who, if I see a comment that you have, I will respond. I hope, whenever I go live, I hope that you're able to attend so that I can actually talk to you, and be like, hey, what's up? What's going on? That's part of the reason I wanted to do these videos, or it's one of the reasons that stumbled upon me as I did the videos. Once I saw that people actually were watching them and there was a little community forming, that's what I want, is for the people here to be able to be friends with each other. I've made friends. When I was on TikTok, I made a couple of friends on TikTok who were on Like, we would be on Discord together just chilling, and I'm like, this person lives halfway across the world and I don't know them. Like, the internet it can be a pretty scary and dark place, but it's also a place where you can meet people and you can have pen pals, and you have people that you meet on here and that you might fall in love with or you might like, or people who could be close friends. You never know. But I get that. I get the not having a lot of close friends, but I think that's why it's so important to like join Discord groups or like find content creators that you like and check out their community and see how they are. Like, again, I am really happy to finally be in like a streaming community on Twitch. And it's funny because there are a bunch of other people who I watch play games, but this particular community that I've found, I enjoy it. And I really thought they were all going to be assholes when I first got in there, because I know this streamer. Like, I know how big Puffer be. And I was like, all right, I'm going to get in here and everybody's going to be assholes. But everybody's been so cool, and like the type of jokes that are made, I get. I can also joke when in there. There's zero tolerance for, you know, misogynistic comments, racist comments. Like, it's a very, like, relatively safe space for being a space that has a bunch of gamers in it. And the reason I say that is because historically gamers have not been safe people. Like, historically there's been a lot of bullying, there's been a lot of racism, a lot of sexism. You still get that. Like, there are clips in the thousands of people who, as soon as they hear a girl's voice on a video game or in a video game chat, they show their entire ass. Like, it happens all the time. But there are a lot of communities out here that you can join and you can be a part of. And maybe they won't be super close friends at first, but that's when you start engaging with the same people over and over again. And over time, you have those types of connections. But when you were saying you didn't know what your path is, one of my suggestions is to review again your childhood. What are some things that you were interested in as a kid? Games, clothing, movies, stories, anything. See if you can remember some of it. And by childhood, I'm talking anything from when you first had a conscious memory all the way up until your teens. What are some stuff that you really enjoyed doing? You would be surprised how much of that stuff is the foundation for who we are authentically, who we actually are. I loved talking. My grandfather bought me a little tape recorder that had mini tapes that you could put in there. And I used to record myself doing voices on there. And I would record skits. And I would talk to my sister and I would interview her. And is that an ant? If you're an ant, you're not welcome here, bruh. I hope. I got him. I don't know how I got you without seeing you, but bye-bye, little ant. Anyways. What was I saying? Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, so I loved talking as a kid. My grandfather used to ask, one of the questions he used to ask young people, like little kids, is he would be like, hey, what is your philosophy on life? Like, what do you believe? He would ask 4 and 5-year-olds this, and the answers that they came up with were crazy. And so I was talking, like speaking to adults from a very young age. And I always loved talking. And you would think that can't be it. That can't be the foundation for the job that you would have. You would be surprised. When I was at Full Sail in the master's program, the very first class that you take is an intro to the master's program course. And it's called the mastery class, and it is required for every master's student. And it changed my life. And the reason it changed my life is because it talked about connecting with your inclinations that you had when you were a kid. What is the stuff that you liked to do? That fun, that play, that's part of the reason I talk so much about getting in touch with your inner child, because your inner child really is the guiding compass for what it is that's going to help you feel fulfilled in your life. They really are. 34 minutes, 34 seconds as I say that. Your inner child understands to not be so attached to the outcome. They're just in it right now to have a good time. They're playing with their Barbies, with their dolls or their rocks outside. Something else that I used to do, I used to collect ingredients and make like a stew. Like when it was raining, I would have mud in there. I'd have rocks and sticks. I love cooking now. That's something that I enjoy doing. I specifically like doing stews. I used to collect all kinds of rocks and stuff. Spirituality was definitely the path that I was going to go down because I was always into some weird, like, shit that was along that path. So for you, if you are feeling right now lost and you don't know which way to go in your life and you're like, I'm not really sure where to go. I feel like I've done everything I needed to do and I'm just kind of waiting for instructions. Lock into things that you enjoy doing. Find some mobile games. Play some fun mobile games. If you're not a gamer and you enjoy audiobooks, find an audiobook that you can listen to. If you're a reader, find some novels. You really want to spark that playfulness in yourself because that is what is going to guide you to where you want to go. It's crazy. It's crazy how true it continues to be. I talk to so many people I have talked. My mom has had events that she has had, when she had launched her business, she had a whole business launch party and I was there. I was helping with decorating and logistics. I also took photos, like I did marketing and stuff, and I did a lot of stuff for that. And there was a lot of like business people who own their business. I'm talking like, this is what they do. Like they own multiple businesses. They're making big banks. Everybody's six figures. And one of the things that I talked to them about was what got you into this? Like what part of this fulfills you? And of course you have some people that are like money and then they laugh and I'm like, okay, that's great. But I'm talking about fulfillment, holla at your girl. But there were a couple of people who had a real big impact on me because they talked about how when they were kids, they really wanted to help people do X, Y, and Z. And that's exactly what they do now. Like as a kid, it was like, well, I, as a kid, loved baby dolls, and I wanted to adopt all the baby dolls and I wanted all the baby dolls to feel special. And then a person opens up a fucking school that also doubles as a daycare where people who want to bring their kids to school but also need places for them to stay because they're a single parent, like in this school provides all of those services. These are the types of people that I was talking to. And I was like, this is crazy. This is wild that it continues to be the case. So many of the streamers that I watch who are literally doing nothing but playing video games. Yes, they've created merchandise. Yes, they, have their streams. They have sponsors and things like that. But it all started with that inner child, 37 minutes and 37 seconds. As I say this, it started with that internal childlike desire to play video games, to enjoy being online with other people. That's where it started. And so for you, that is what I would recommend you do. Go back to childhood. I would love to see in the comments, what's something you enjoyed doing as a kid a lot? Or what are some things that you remember? And explore that. And for some of you, it might be that there isn't a job that exists for the thing that you're talking about. It's in some cases that you are supposed to create that job. There have been so many jobs that did not exist. As a person who used to work in talent acquisitions, something that was really crazy to watch hiring managers go, we don't have anybody who can do this kind of stuff. And it doesn't fall under any of the job descriptions that exist. And to watch them go, could you create what did they call it? Not a rec sheet. I forget what it was called, but we would essentially create a job. You would have the job title, you'd have the job description, you would have how many hours. I literally watched people create jobs and then post them. And people would apply to those jobs. And those people didn't know that job didn't exist 2 days ago. You never know. You never know. You never know. So lock into that portion. And yes, my loves, 2025 is the year of authenticity. So if you're like, man, I'm on my soulmate journey, I'm trying to lock it in, the biggest way you're going to find them is to be yourself. Anytime I'm out and I find myself laughing weird, I'm like, stop, that's not you. You need to laugh genuinely. You need to say what you're going to say. The jokes that I make, part of the reason I enjoy being on a chat is that I am training myself, like a chat for somebody's stream, is that I'm training myself to be myself no matter where I am. I understand that in some areas that I go, I'm not going to cuss, like how I cuss on here. I'm not going to roll up into a meeting, with somebody important and be like, fuck this, fuck that, bitch. Like, I'm not going to be doing all that. because I understand how to respect the space. At somebody's funeral, wouldn't be doing all that. At somebody's wedding, I wouldn't be doing the most. Now, I'm still going to be myself. Still going to be myself. But there are certain things you just don't do in certain areas. You know? It's more like an etiquette thing. It's less about lying and being somebody or not. But at the end of the day, I really am all about being me now. This is me now. That's what it's about. If you want to see people being themselves and not faking the funk, watch Bob's Burgers. You'll see so many characters who are just unapologetically themselves. And I love it. I'm here for it. I'm always here for it. So yeah, those are my thoughts and opinions on that matter. It's just crazy. It's crazy how I'll come into this closet thinking I'm going to talk about certain stuff, and then when I start talking, it's not that at all. That's part of the reason sometimes at the beginning of my videos I'll hesitate, because I'm about to say something that I just before starting recording was going to say, and then I move to say something else. Another wig hair. So yeah, man. Lock it into your childhood inclinations. Childhood inclinations are so important to lock into. And it's crazy because if you're still curious, if you're like, well, I did all this stuff, something you can do is go to ChatGPT. And I always say ChatGPT because that's really the only AI program that I've used. I also use Claude AI. So you can use Claude AI. It's spelled Claud AI. And something that I did a long time ago was not too long ago, after I graduated, I said, here are things I liked to do as a child. What are the types of jobs and positions? 41 minutes and 44 seconds as I say this. I said, what are some of the types of jobs and positions that go along with these types of interests from my childhood? And Claude AI gave me a long list of stuff that I could do. And then I looked at each job and I said, do I really want that? No. Do I really want that? No. Maybe this, maybe this. And that's really where it starts. It's a brainstorming project. Make finding your life's purpose, or the purpose that you want it to have, make that fun. Make it a quest marker in your life. On your journey through life, these are side quests. My dad says it all the time. Do the side quests. Somebody else said it, and he heard it from them, and I can't remember who said it. But do the side quests. If you want to learn a new language, you've been thinking about taking some Japanese online, do it. Trying to teach yourself a new language, do that. If you want to learn an instrument and you can find it cheap, 42 minutes and 42 seconds as I say this, if you can find a cheap instrument on eBay or somewhere used, do it. Do it. There is no time like the present. I want you guys to do so much. Try everything. Try everything. Maybe not certain drugs. Maybe don't try everything. Try a good chunk of stuff. Yeah, do that. But maybe don't try everything. Because when somebody tells me try everything, I'm like, oh, try, things that make sense. But, you tell somebody try everything and they're over here like, well, guess I'm going to skydive without a parachute. And it's like, that's not okay. You didn't understand the assignment. Let's try again. Let's rewind. Don't get on the plane, please. But yeah. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. But it was really interesting talking to my sister, and she's in like this really great new place where she's around people who care, people who do things for each other, people that support each other. And I've watched her be around people who didn't support her, people who didn't. They were more concerned about what they could get from her than they were concerned about assisting and taking care of her and loving on her. And it's just so great to see her be loved and taken care of. And I'm seeing more of that love between people. And I love that so much. I know I'm getting closer. I know I'm getting closer to my own people. It's interesting because when I'm on this chat that I be in, when I'm in this chat, on these streams that I watch now and I talk to people, it's crazy that people respond to me and they say things. And I'm like, maybe at some point I'll go look at people's channels and see what they do and actually make friends. Because right now I've just been doing passive viewing, passive commenting. That's kind of what I do. But yeah, maybe I'll lock it in with some people potentially. My best friend has been super busy these past couple of days, and then my sister's been very busy. and then wasn't feeling well today. So it's been a lot of me focusing on me time. I went outside a little bit today just to get some fresh air because the weather has finally calmed down here in Florida. I still want to move out of Florida. That hasn't changed. Just because the weather has calmed down does not mean that I'm good with Florida now. Like, Florida's okay, but I really am trying to leave. But yeah. So those are some of my tips. Those are some of my thoughts and opinions. Let's see, what else do I have? What else do I have for you all? I watched a lot of funny videos today. I laughed a lot. It's so important. It's so important to laugh. I know it can be hard. I know it can be hard sometimes. I think that's why I explore YouTube so much. I'm constantly on there looking for funny things to watch, things that are going to make me laugh and entertain me. Because sometimes that's all you can do. All you can do is laugh. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I think there's a time for action. I think there's a season for all things. So sometimes it's action time. You know, it's clobbering time. It's time for you to get up and get moving and get work done. Sometimes it's time for you to rest, rejuvenate, replenish. Other times it's time for observing and collecting data and researching. So when you're feeling down or low energy, just know maybe it's time for you to be in a rest place. If you're feeling really energized, you're like, I don't really know where to put this energy towards, then check with your inner child, see what they have to say. Check with your spirit. You know? You guys have far more guidance within your spirits than you think you do. Even me, like, there's some times where I'll ask questions and my spirit's quiet and I don't get a response. And now if I don't get a response, it means that I haven't been listening, usually. So it's like, listen more. And it's like, well, what do you mean? It's like, sit. Don't try to rush an answer. Just sit with it for a minute. I've sat on things for days. I've sat on questions for days. And then an answer will finally come to me. I finally got the email today that both of my bank accounts, both of the bank accounts that I left have officially closed. And I was so happy. I was so happy. Also, I realized today was a super big rest day just because I've been doing a lot spiritually. And you'd be surprised how much spirituality takes it out of you when you're doing, like, therapy, essentially. You're working through past trauma and you're doing all this stuff. It does exhaust you. It's why a lot of people don't do it. It's emotional labor, and it's tough. But I'm excited because I have a feeling that by doing all of this emotional labor and by really dedicating to this path, my soulmate is going to be better for it. Because I've been told I need to be patient. And so what I'm thinking is as I am being trained to be patient with myself and with life in general, I have a feeling my soulmate is somebody who I'm gonna have to be patient with. I'm gonna love the shit out of them, and I know they're gonna love me, and I know there's gonna be this really great connection, but I also know, just because of how I am, and how they most likely will be, there's gonna be a lot of patience involved. I love that. I love that the soulmate journey is not one where everything goes perfectly. I love that it's like, yeah, you find your person and you guys lock it in, but you're still going to struggle because that's what couples do. Like, you're still going to have challenges because you're going to keep growing together. That's the point. You know, soulmates make each other better by being better themselves. They inspire each other to be better people every day. At least that's what I believe. But yeah, I'm excited because I think I may be attending a sleepover in a couple of days, maybe. A mutual friend of my sister's and I is having her first ever birthday, like a birthday that people are celebrating her doing what she wants to do. She and many other people that I've met have had families that kind of take their birthdays and make their birthdays about everybody else and not them. And so this is the first birthday that she is having where her friends all got together to do stuff for her that she wanted to do. And so they were like, you should totally come. You know, there's going to be drinks. I was like, you had me at drinks. But I also was going to be there to support. So I think I might be sleeping over. And if I do that, I actually may end up doing this video in a different location. Because I do these videos every night. I also might just do the video early on and then post that, because I think we're going to sleep over Sunday night. So Sunday, I might do, I may do the video earlier and then I'll post it. Or I may do it there. It just depends on how I feel. But yeah, so I'm actually pretty excited. Like I said, I don't go out a lot. So when I'm invited out and I'm actually in a good mood and I'm like ready to go, like everything lines up, I feel really good about it. But yeah, so today was a rest day. My legs are super sore from all that walking that I did the other day to do all the bank stuff. It was a lot of walking. But I feel better about life in general. I did get a little emotional today, but it was a good type of emotional. I like that I'm learning things on this journey. I enjoy learning stuff. It can be frustrating sometimes because it's like, oh, am I learning more? But it's like, this is what I came back here to do. I heard somebody say that Earth is the hardest game to play. And essentially what she was saying was that you came back here specifically to deal with all of the things that you're dealing with right now. All the stuff that's happening, you came back to deal with. You came back to learn how to best everything. And how you best it is working on your own mental strength, your own mental fortitude, and your spiritual fortitude. Like, there are people who go through things and they decide, I'm not going to let this take me out. And that's the type of person I want to be. I want to keep being. Like, I go through it. Y'all know I was about to bawl in this video. I definitely have my moments where I go through it. But it is worth it. It is so worth it to do this instead of sitting around every day wanting to not be here, which is what I used to do a long time ago. Or faking the funk and trying to achieve other people's ideas of what success is. Yeah, I wanted to say what success are, but that was not appropriate grammar. Excuse me. So yeah, it's been a really good day. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. I believe I have 10 more subscribers than I did when I did my last video, and that blows my fucking mind. I am so happy to have you guys here. I really am. I don't know where I'm headed. I don't know what I'm doing. I have ideas of where I would like to be and where I would like to end up. Wouldn't it be crazy if I ended up doing really big things? Wouldn't that be wild? Wouldn't that be crazy if I did some really great entertainment stuff or owned really big businesses or something? And then I could be like, these guys, they were here at the beginning. They put the time in. They watched my videos. I think about that sometimes. I can't help but to now at this point. I didn't think about it when I first started the videos, but now when I see subscribers coming in from different places, I'm like, whoa. Are we going somewhere? Are we going on a trip today? Are we going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship? Flying through the sky, little Einsteins. And you're ready to explore. Da-da-da, little Einsteins. I don't know. I've had so many people throughout my life prophesize on my life. They've been like, you're gonna do big things. And I'm like, what? And then they don't say anything. I'm like, okay, that's super helpful. And some people tell me things and I'm like, that seems really lofty. That seems like a lot. I don't know if I want that responsibility. That's what they say. With great power comes great responsibility. With great influence comes great responsibility. So I've always been like, no thanks, I'm good. I've been offered so many management positions at jobs and I've been like, no thank you. Because being a manager means that I have more that I have to be responsible for. So if you're the type of person who has opportunities to lead and you're shying from them, I see you. You need to stop shying from them. You need to lock in to who the fuck you are and get ready because you got big stuff coming. Especially if you've been feeling it and you've been sidestepping it because you're like, no, I kind of just want to live a normal life. It's like those superhero parents' kids who always be like, I don't want to be a superhero. I want to be normal. And it's like, what the fuck? You have the ability to move buildings with your mind and you want to be normal? What the fuck? L child. L offspring. Massive L. If I was doing some big stuff and then I had kids and they were like, we don't want to do this big stuff, we want to be basic. But I mean, that's their choice, you know? If you have a parent, like, I guess that's how a lot of actors' kids can feel, like the ones who didn't go into acting, they're like, yeah, my mom and dad's faces are everywhere, but I don't want my face everywhere. You know, I just want to live a decent life. I just want to be a finance bro, or I just want to, you know, work at this mechanic shop and fix cars. Like, I just want to do shit that's like, I can do it and go home and there isn't paparazzi in my face every 5 seconds. Like, I get that. That makes sense. Who was it? It was, I think it was Dylan Sprouse, that at some point he had stopped acting for a while and he was working at like a diner or something and people were like, what are you doing here? And he was like, I just wanted a break. Like, geez, like, it's just a lot. And I used to be like, oh, man, like, you have millions of dollars and everybody knows who you are and you're constantly getting sponsorships and deals. Wah, wah, wah. You don't want to do that. But now that I think about it, that is heavy. That's heavy. Every decision that you make on social media is seen and questioned and judged. Like, you and I can get on social media and kind of say whatever we want, and yeah, you know, people may judge us, but it's not going to be a problem. Nobody who's ever been a president can do that. Nobody who is a governor, nobody who is in a serious position of leading, nobody who's an influencer that has thousands upon thousands of viewers can just hop on and say whatever they want and there be no, like, backlash. Now, I know some people do. Some people say things that everybody's like, what? Nobody's calling them out for this? But there is still a level of responsibility with what people say. Like, I remember some celebrity during COVID came out and said something like, oh yeah, like, everybody's freaking out, but it's not that big of a deal. Like, yeah, people pass away every day, and people lit whoever that was. I can't remember who it was, but they lit them up. And they immediately came on to apologize. And I was like, well, yeah, whenever you hop in front of a camera, when you are at that level where you're like a super celebrity, bro, there's a reason they have PR teams. Because people be forgetting. They be forgetting. And it's like, no, like, if you're going to post something, run it by your manager first if you're at that level. Of course, I say that. But I remember wanting to be like a global star, superstar sensation. And now that I don't, and I'm like, geez, I'm so glad I didn't. Because, like, I say things in these videos that I believe. I've always felt like, I don't think I would be canceled for stuff that I say, but I definitely think it would put a bad taste in people's mouths. And I think at this point, because I'm on this authenticity journey, I don't care. Because my point is to be real. And I'm not for everybody. And that's true for you as well. You are not for everybody. You're going to do things that people don't like on your healing journey. You're going to be taking care of yourself and you're going to be prioritizing yourself, and people aren't going to like it. Fuck those people. Because at the end of the day, you are the person who has to sleep in your own mind. That's where we're all going at night, by ourselves. You could be sleeping next to 30 people, but when you are falling asleep, you're the only one up there. So that's why I'm always telling people, you have to live a life that is authentic and feels good to you. Because at the end of the day, and at the end of all things, that is what you're going to have. Your decisions that you made. You're not at the end of it going to be able to say, well, such and such told me to do it. That's not going to matter. Where are they now? Either they've already passed on or they're somewhere else. They could be right there next to your bed, but they're not going with you. They're not going with you. We were born into this world on like a lonely little, like a little cloud, and we're gonna leave here. Same way. Maybe not the exact same way. Crying and screaming and naked? Maybe not. At least not me. I'm trying to go comfortable. I would love to go in my sleep, actually. I think that would be great. I know this is kind of morbid, but I've always thought that. Like, having a really good day where I drank and laughed and like hung out with my people. I just had a really great time. You know, I'm super old, I'm super up there, and I'm like, man, this was a great day. And then in my sleep. That would be dope. That'd be dope. Full life lived, grandkids and great grandkids. I would love to have great grandkids. I would love to, you know, kind of birth like a little empire. I think that'd be cool. But I don't know. I just be saying shit on here sometimes. I just be talking. But yeah, man. I guess the big thing that I'm saying here is that you should be your authentic self. You should lock into it. 59 minutes and 59 seconds as I say that. And now it's an hour. Lock into your inner child's inclinations. If you have been moved to take up leadership positions, do that. Stop putting it off. Wake up. Step into your big old shoes that are actually the perfect size for you. And then be yourself. Be authentic. And again, authenticity doesn't mean you're nice and happy and kind all the time. Authentic means you're real. So if you're not having a good day, and you're like, hey, I'm not having a good day, bro. It's not you. I'm just not having a good day. Do that. Be that. I know that you're tired of masking. So many people watching my videos are probably so tired of masking. And some of y'all are doing it even when you're at home. When you're around your parents or when you're around your boyfriend or girlfriend, you're still masking, and that's part of the reason. An hour, 1 minute, and 1 second as I say that, that's why some of you are so tired, because you're still masking. You're using a good portion of your energy to pretend to be somebody else, when if you were just you all the time, I mean, you still might get tired sometimes, but you would be locked in to where that energy comes from, the genuine place. So you'd have that energy, and you'd be on your shit, essentially. So yeah, I think that's all I have. At the end of these videos, I'm always like, ugh, I wish I had told more jokes, or I wish I'd laughed more, but I'm not always on like that. I think something that I've noticed is in the podcast I was watching with the guys who I usually watch stream, they were talking about the fact that there's so many people who are on YouTube who will then move over to their streams and watch them stream, and they get bored watching them play games because they'll be like, why aren't you telling all these jokes? And a lot of people don't realize that gamers typically have an editor who will edit their clips and edit their videos to be a certain length, and then also they will edit the funniest clips in there. So yeah, this person seems to be making jokes continuously, but they're really not. There's so much downtime that happens for a lot of people. Even comedians are this way, where they're not just funny all the time. Clips that we see of them make us think, oh, well, I've seen this person straight for a week, and every time I see them, they're funny and they're making people laugh. If they're being recorded, odds are they're not being 100% their most authentic self the whole time, because there are times when people are just quiet. They have nothing to say. And I have so many nights where I'm doing videos. What is that? What was that? Was it a sparkle? I don't know what it was. I hope I didn't eat it. I hope whatever it was that I'm okay. I hope I don't die. But yeah, like, so often when I'm doing these videos, I feel so boring because I'm like, I don't really have a lot of entertainment for you all. Just doing stuff. That's why, it's one of the reasons why for so long I was like, I want to stream, but I don't think I should, because sometimes when I game, I do get quiet. I'm just really locked into what's happening, and I'm like, oh my god, yes, lore, come through story. But, even with all that being said, I encourage you all to be your most authentic self. The world, I think, would be a much better place if everybody knew what everybody was about, and they knew what they were about because people were just themselves. I love that. I love to see it. I love to see it. Well, I'm going to have a little bit more water, and then I think I might be calling it for the evening. Tomorrow's Friday! I like Friday. Friday's a good day. Friday, as some people call it. But yeah, I appreciate you guys being here, even when it's not super exciting and there's not like a whole lot going on. I appreciate you guys being here. Take care of yourself. Love on yourself as always. Get some water in. I just figured out how to do a poll on here. So I think I'm gonna have a couple of options for like snacks or stuff that I want to eat. and I might ask you guys' opinion in order to test this poll thing out. Test this poll thing out. You know something I wanted to do for a long time? This is like an 18 plus topic, but I wanted to learn how to pole dance. For the longest time I did, because I was like, that just seems like an amazing workout. Because, spoiler alert, for those of you who thought that people actually be spinning on them poles themselves, they're not. The poles actually do spin. So really what it is it's the core that you have to build up and the grip strength you have to build up to be able to hold on to that fucker the whole time. And I wanted to do that for so long. I was like, I would love to take a class. Like, I just thought that'd be really great. It's essentially like yoga, but just more involved. And I've always wanted to do that. I don't know if I would do that. I just have a feeling. My sister told me. She said, I don't know how you do it. She said, but the way you dance, you somehow manage to have rhythm, but you don't have flow. And I was like, so first off, why are you cussing in my face? And she was like, no, like, it's like you are, like, internally, you're not black. And I was like, ayo, first off, why are you cussing at me? And she's like, no, it's just weird. It's like everybody else in the family has really great like dance flow, but you just don't. I told her, I said, you know why it is? I had to be nerfed. There's too many things that I do decently. And if I could also dance, it'd be over for all y'all. It'd be over for everybody. If I could actually dance, like, I dance okay. When I was growing up, I took like a couple weeks of ballet, a couple weeks of tap, and I was in gymnastics for 2 seconds because of the way my parents dealt with finances back in the day. I didn't stay in any of those things for longer than a couple of weeks. But I was okay. I was decent. But it is interesting because anytime I see family videos where everybody's dancing and then I'm dancing, I am the one person who looks like somebody's auntie. I always look like somebody's auntie. I'm careful. I don't be calling nobody unk because I'm like, nah, because if I'm laughing too hard, somebody's going to turn around and be like, what'd you say, auntie? And I'll be like, oh dear. Nah, I don't be joining the rose battles like that. I be chilling out. But yeah, I love you guys. I love you. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, morning, afternoon, evening, or night. I hope that you guys are feeling well. I'll see you guys tomorrow night, par usual. Do I have any music recommendations for you? I think I have a couple. I have a couple of songs that I've been listening to that I really like, and I'll put those in the description for you guys. I like to put things in the description for y'all. Some of the descriptions that I do, they're like tiny prayers or like affirmations for you all. That's why I put those in there. So if you're ever moved to read it and it's like, may you be, that's for you. That is specifically for you. Mwah. I love you all so much. And I will holler at you tomorrow night if I don't turn into something that keeps me from doing the video. Like a rock. If I turn into a rock, I actually will become more powerful than you could possibly imagine. I'll be impossible at that point. Like, what can I not do as a rock? How many windshields? How many windows? You know? How many cars can run over me and I just won't care? I'll just be looking at them like the whole time because, like, what are you gonna do? I'm a rock. Good luck. Good luck trying to stop me. Damn. It's funny how sometimes I think, anyways, no, it's funny how sometimes I think about turning into certain things and I'm like, that would be dope because then I wouldn't have to do anything. And I'm like, how lazy is that? Like, for the longest time, I was like, I'd love to be a tree in the middle of the woods. Then I was like, nah, because trees be growing and sometimes trees have to deal with insects and woodpeckers and stuff. So I was like, nah, a rock. In particular, a rock at the bottom of the ocean. Ain't nobody doing anything to me down there. I'm down there in the depths where the world serpent is. I'm down there where the lava sharks are. Ain't nobody doing shit to me down there. I would be safe as hell in the depths. It's like, but it's dark down there. Yeah, but I'm a rock. What do I care? I don't need to breathe. I don't care if anything maybe lands on top of me. I'm a rock. Bro. The boulder. I would be the boulder. The boulder has mixed feelings about fighting a small blind girl. What's the matter, Boulder? You chicken? The boulder is over his feelings. Okay, no, seriously. I love you guys. Sleep tight or have a good day. Get your water in. And just remember, they hate us because they ain't us. Alright, I'll holler at y'all later. Another ant! Bye.